This evening, officers of the government found wanting will be held accountable following audit reports. Caribbean countries seek to heighten their level of accountability of public funds. The new maternity wing of the GPHC has been delayed again. Eurosine proposes crime reduction strategy. In the region, in Trinidad and Tobago, the Prison and Fire Service Associations are requesting that President Carmona take another look at the Public Service Commission. And internationally, Theresa May is now England's new Prime Minister and promises to build a better Britain.
From Safetv headquarters in South Ramville Gardens, this is Safetv Headline News with Rihanna Hammond.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel, as well as our website, safetvguyana.com. Join us. Caribbean countries are working to strengthen their level of accountability of public funds. As such, the third regional workshop on parliamentary oversight of the Caribbean Organization of Supreme Audit Institutions, CAROSI, got underway today at the Marriott Hotel in Kingston, Georgetown. Just like the two previous workshops held in other countries, the event here was also attended by representatives from all across the region, including World Bank representative David I.
And we really want to, over the next 2 days, really look at these guidance and programs and manuals, excuse me, that Scott and Ken's team has produced, and really critique it and really hope to improve it. Because at the end of the day, it's really that, this is the property of CAROSI and the Caribbean. We really want to make these tools useful to us so that we can improve our work.
Delivering the keynote address, Speaker of the National Assembly of Guyana, Dr. Barton Scotland, stressed the importance of the relationship between the Parliament's Public Accounts Committee and the Auditor General's Office.
Article 223(2) of the Constitution of Guyana vests in the Public Accounts Committee the power to exercise general supervision over the functioning of the Office of the Auditor General. Thus, the relationship between the Public Accounts Committee and the Office of the Auditor General is enshrined in the architecture of legislative supervision.
Dr. Scotland is of the strong view that supervision of the relationship between the Accounts Committee and the Auditor General's Office has to be done regularly so as to ensure that all are playing by the book.
The standing orders of the National Assembly regulate that the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee must be a member of the main opposition in the Assembly. The examination by the Public Accounts Committee seeks to discover to what extent expenditure has been incurred in the way Parliament intended and for the purpose for which it was appropriated.
New number plates and driver's license with security features to solve crime are coming to Guyana. The proposal was made by Eurosine Guyana, a Guyanese company out of Miami, Florida, to ministers of government, representatives of the Guyana Revenue Authority, and Guyana Police Force Traffic Department. This was done today at the Marriott Hotel. Andrew Weeks reports.
Under the watchful eyes of Minister of Social Cohesion Amna Ali, Minister of Citizenship Winston Felix, Traffic Chief Dion Moore, and many others, Jerome Bulkan, CEO of Eurosine, gave a presentation on the new technology which will allow the government of Guyana to successfully implement and operate a modern motor vehicle registration system.
Many motor vehicle owners fail to pay their registration fees and other taxes. I think there's a critical breaking point here and in many emerging nations. Luckily, the government of Guyana has recognized this critical situation.
Because the current number plates are archaic, the new registration system, if approved by government, will see number plates with different colors for taxis, buses, government officials, diplomats, police, the GDF, and others equipped with security features hard for criminals to duplicate.
If you look into this license plate, you will see the GRA logo. It's not printed on the plate, it's been embedded into the reflective material in this technology called PermaMark with the laser. You cannot print this on. It has to be done by laser in a factory setting.
As for the new proposed driver's ID cards, these will be controlled by a data called DRIVE, Driver's Registration Information Vehicle Enrollment. DRIVE will meet international standards, and law enforcement officers can pull up the records of drivers to see if they are clean or not.
And there is this document. It's a secure document that goes on the windshield. Some people call it a third license plate because it has the license plate number of the vehicle, very large, and also it has the expiration date of the vehicle. It also has a description of the vehicle, the color, the VIN number or the chassis number on this, and it's a secure document.
Minister of Citizenship Winston Felix shared his views on the proposal.
The paper-based system is a slower system. This system seems to be encouraging digitization, computerization, and that makes for speedy communication.
If government approves of DRIVE, that is, the Driver's Registration and Information Vehicle Enrollment, the new software will take driver's registration and licenses to the next level. The proposal will have to go to Parliament for approval, and GRA and law enforcement agencies will have to become fully computerized. The cost of such a transformation is still to be made known. Rihanna, back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. The project to extend and remodel the maternity wing of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation was supposed to have been completed since February of this year. However, due to a series of hiccups, it was further delayed to April. It is now July, and 2 mothers and 2 babies are still sharing 1 bed at the country's largest public health institution.
I have a document where the contractors are justifying the non-completion of the building because they are saying to us that they had to stretch their resources to complete other projects, and as a result have neglected this this wing that they're doing.
Public Health Minister Dr. George Norton believes this to be very unfortunate and unacceptable. The $89 million project started in February of 2015. As it relates to the errand contractor of the project, Norton is adamant that action has to be taken.
I said it before, if not legal actions, at least some form of sanctions should be imposed on them.
Speaking previously to this newscast, Norton explained that the construction of this much-needed new wing was one that he had thrown much support behind while he was in the opposition. The new maternity wing is intended to adequately accommodate a huge number of referrals to the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation. When completed, the building is expected to house an additional 50 beds, 2 operating rooms, a soundproof birthing room, and a neonatal intensive care unit on the top floor. Coming up on Headline News after the break, former government officers who committed crimes against the state will be dealt with by the law, and dust pollution has become a grave annoyance to residents of Safaya.
Everybody knows John Lewis Styles as the Levi's and Dockers store. But did you know we're also an authorized dealer for Nautica, Perry Ellis, US Polo, Natural Issue, Joffrey Bean, and many others. We also carry the Bruno and Drill brands, who are actually the makers of Express shirts, at half the price of Express. So the next time you think of men's clothing, shoes, and accessories, there's only one choice. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
With a distinctive flavor, Umda Palka ghee is made from 100% pure vegetable oil. This Palka ghee is a delight when preparing sweetmeats and other dishes for healthy cooking with a rich buttery taste and aroma. It is used for religious purposes and is a principal fuel for burning. Umda Palka ghee is light, pure, with a real ghee texture.
Only at Kissoon's can you get the guaranteed offer of up to 50% discount on every item in their blowout factory surplus sale. 50% off for Guyana's 50th anniversary right through the year. Check it out at their spacious factory outlet at Reinfeldt Industrial Park, where parking is no problem. They're in the mood to celebrate at Kissoon's. Once you want it, Kissoon's will make sure you don't leave without it.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princeton Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Following protests from residents in Safaya, Junior Minister of Public Infrastructure Annette Ferguson visited the area. There, she assured the residents of a speedy completion and provided a resolution for their present dust pollution issue. Kingsley Bryan has the details in this report.
Minister Ferguson visited the area after residents blocked the road with debris and protested the delay of the unfinished project, as well as the excessive dust pollution to which residents are exposed. Road works on Dennis Street began earlier in the year and were expected to have been completed by mid-May. However, that was not the case, and Minister Ferguson explained why.
But what's happening is that we have started some work on the road. You know, we're supposed to be extending Dennis Street and then doing the overlay. So they started the work from Eastern Highway, right, coming in. But what they realized that the foundation has some challenges. So we don't want to do the overlay, that is the contractor. Don't want to do the overlay, then in the long run, the road starts to get porous and then you're going to hear the government didn't do a good job or the contractor didn't do a good job.
Protest actions over the condition of the road began on Sunday and prompted a visit from Minister David Patterson. At that juncture, the minister promised the residents to wet the road so as to prevent the dust pollution, which was their main concern.
Yesterday after I came home from work and picked up my clothes, I got to go and wash them again because it's terrible. All right. Thank you very much.
Minister, you know, it's even more than that because this dust now is very...
Yes, we have a few residents that had to rush to get to the hospital
you know?
because of the asthma. I had 2 kids that I had to take.
However, an engineer was in hand to assure the residents that the process would be completed as promised.
It was advised, yes, that the person did turn up. As you rightly claimed, there was some situation with the equipment that they arrived with. I've been advised that they are on their way here back to get the road. Right? They have all the fuel and everything in place.
Would be completed by July 27. Works were undertaken to repair the road due to its deplorable condition, but problems were encountered.
It may need to be forwarded to the Guyana Police Force for further investigation before any charges are brought. There's also issues of disciplinary action that may be taken against those officers of the various entities, which will be sent to the board for further attention. So basically, there is where we are.
Minister Sharma said 3 reports have already been sent to the Ghana Police Force to investigate: the NISA report and the Ghana Marketing Corporation report, which were sent to Suku because financial crimes were detected. Sharma said the government boards had frustrated the audit investigations.
And from our experience in the opposition, we know the boards wasn't functioning. We know the entity wasn't reporting as it should. We know there was lack of accountability. Annual reports were not submitted to Parliament for a number of years. So the misconception here is that these reports, basically, when it's audited, these entities are audited, is not sent to the Public Accounts Committee. So it's not scrutinized further. So a report is tendered into the National Assembly, and members of Parliament are not technical people. They don't know what they're looking at.
Sharma said if one should read reports carefully, he would see the invisible hands of ministers corrupting the boards. Sharma made another alarming revelation.
The issue here, the main issue of these entities having their own bank accounts and having large amounts balances in the bank account and not transferring it to the consolidated fund, these were issues. These members of the National Assembly public is not aware of the expenditure. And these expenditures not incorporated into the budget of the country. So if the Minister of Finance were to say the budget is 220 billion, it's not so, because there's the next 10 billion somewhere, which we don't know about.
The audits were very important to allow the new boards to know what their functions would be, because there was a possibility that boards could be held accountable. But many Guyanese have been calling on the coalition government to institute criminal charges against former government officials for raping the state of its assets. Sharma had this to say.
No, I'm saying to the people, as I said before in a interview, is that people must be patient. We don't want to accuse government of witch hunting anybody. This is what is important. So when we also will prosecute, we want to ensure that we're going to win that case. It's not a wild goose chase, and not to embarrass anyone. The leader of the opposition challenged this administration to make the report public. It wasn't our intention. Okay, so he said he wanted the report made public. We gave him that. We made the report public. Now the question is the leader of the opposition. What he's doing is his administration, his time, under Jagdeo, under Ramatar, what they're doing with the report. Are they doing internal investigation to find out what their people did?
Mr. Sharma said he is convinced that the Ghana Police Force will do their job and that the people will see charges instituted. This is because there would be proper investigations carried out with the absence of witch hunting. Rihanna, back to you.
Thanks, Andrew. Still ahead, our regional and international news.
Women's fashion trends change every day. That's why John Lewis Styles makes it their duty to source items directly from the manufacturing brand, offering you more choices and better prices. Women love to look great, whether it's for work or play. From clothing, shoes, accessories, to handbags, watches, fragrances. Let's make you feel like the only girl in the world. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
With a distinctive flavor, paukagi is made from 100% pure vegetable oil. This paukagi is a delight when preparing sweetmeats and other dishes for healthy cooking with a rich buttery taste and aroma. It is used for religious purposes and is a principal fuel for burning. Paukagi is light, pure, with a real ghee texture.
Don't let this moment in history pass you by. Kissoons want every Guyanese home to showcase a new piece of furniture to remember this glorious event of our Jubilee celebration. Kissoons have gone crazy Every item is on sale right through this year in the Big Broad Factory Surplus Sale, up to 50% off for the 50th birthday at Kissoon's.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's for dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
In news from the region now, there is a call for the President of Trinidad and Tobago, Anthony Carmona, to review a board which he appointed. The Prison and Fire Service Associations are requesting that President Carmona take another look at the Public Service Commission. They say there are too many acting positions within the service. They believe the situation must be rectified soon, as promotions are also being halted. CNews has our story.
The Prison and Fire Service Associations are standing together to highlight issues arising out of the administration of the Public Service Commission. They want President Carmona to step in as he had appointed the board.
We are calling upon the President to use the powers vested in his office under the Constitution of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, sections 121 to 122, to review those appointments and to consider replacing some of those commissioners under the Public Service Commission.
Both associations say that the action or the non-action by the Commission has put promotions on hold. President of the Fire Service Association, Leoram Kisoon, says the President should review the appointments as they have evidence that suggests that the Commission is failing in its responsibilities. He says 99% of the supervisors across the service are acting.
The lack of promotions also affects the demotivation of the officers. The officers in these services are highly demotivated, and clearly the Public Service Commission is paying inadequate, severely inadequate attention to these two services.
They say acting arrangements are being mismanaged and they are hoping for a response from the President soon.
He has never even as much as acknowledged our letters. How long ago you wrote? We have written numerous times, up to recently, right, just about a month ago.
If nothing is done to address their concerns, the associations plan to take further action. Mahalia Joseph, CNews.
And internationally, Theresa May is now the new Prime Minister and promises to build a better Britain. She is Britain's second female premier and is following in the footsteps of Margaret Thatcher. Speaking from Downing Street, the new leader promised to create a country that works for everyone. Mrs. May will be announcing the most senior appointments to her cabinet tonight and other positions later in the week. BBC News has more.
I have just been to Buckingham Palace, where Her Majesty the Queen has asked me to form a new government, and I accepted. In David Cameron, I follow in the footsteps of a great modern Prime Minister. Under David's leadership, the government stabilised the economy, reduced the budget deficit, and helped more people into work than ever before. But David's true legacy is not about the economy, but about social justice. From the introduction of same-sex marriage to taking people on low wages out of income tax altogether, David Cameron has led a one-nation government, and it is in that spirit that I also plan to lead. Because not everybody knows this, but the full title of my party is the Conservative and Unionist Party. And that word unionist is very important to me. It means we believe in the union, the precious, precious bond between England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. But it means something else that is just as important. It means we believe in a union not just between the nations of the United Kingdom, but between all of our citizens, every one of us, whoever we are and wherever we're from. That means fighting against the burning injustice that if you're born poor, you will die on average 9 years earlier than others. If you're black, you're treated more harshly by the criminal justice system than if you're white. If you're a white working class boy, you're less likely than anybody else in Britain to go to university. If you're at a state school, you're less likely to reach the top professions than if you're educated privately. If you're a woman, you will earn less than a man. If you suffer from mental health problems, there's not enough help to hand. If you're young, you'll find it harder than ever before to own your own home. But the mission to make Britain a country that works for everyone means more than fighting these injustices. If you're from an ordinary working class family, life is much harder than many people in Westminster realise. You have a job, but you don't always have job security. You have your own home, but you worry about paying the mortgage. You can just about manage, but you worry about the cost of living and getting your kids into a good school. If you're one of those families, if you're just managing, I want to address you directly. I know you're working around the clock. I know you're doing your best, and I know that sometimes life can be a struggle. The government I lead will be driven not by the interests of the privileged few, but by yours. We will do everything we can to give you more control over your lives. When we take the big calls, we'll think not of the powerful, but you. When we pass new laws, we'll listen not to the mighty, but to you. When it comes to taxes, we'll prioritise not the wealthy, but you. When it comes to opportunity, we won't entrench the advantages of the fortunate few. We will do everything we can to help anybody, whatever your background, to go as far as your talents will take you. We are living through an important moment in our country's history. Following the referendum, we face a time of great national change. And I know, because we're Great Britain, that we will rise to the challenge. As we leave the European Union, we will forge a bold, new, positive role for ourselves in the world. And we will make Britain a country that works not for a privileged few, but for every one of us. That will be the mission of the government I lead. And together, we will build a better Britain.
And that's Safetv 2 headline news for this Wednesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Safetv 2 headline news on Facebook, YouTube, and safetvghana.com. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and Thursday evening at 7 o'clock for more news. For now, I'm Rihanna Ahmed signing out from this newscast. Do have a blessed evening.